Why is context so important in language pragmatics? Imagine trying to understand a joke or a polite request without knowing what's happening around you. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. That's where context steps in. Context is what surrounds a conversation, including who is talking, where they are, and what they've said before. It shapes how we interpret what's meant beyond just the words. Pragmatics is a part of linguistics that looks at how meaning depends on these surrounding factors. It's different from semantics, which focuses only on the literal meaning of words and sentences. Pragmatics considers social norms, cultural backgrounds, and the situation itself. Without context, the true message can get lost or misunderstood. Think about the phrase, "I'm fine." If someone says this with a smile and relaxed body language, it probably means they are okay. But if they say it with a sigh and a frown, it might mean they're upset or hiding something. The same words can have very different meanings depending on the situation. Another example is when someone says, "It's cold in here." Literally, they're talking about the temperature. But pragmatically, they might be hinting that they want the window closed or the heater turned on. The listener uses the context to figure out what's really being asked. Context also helps us understand indirect language. When someone says, "Can you pass the salt?" at dinner, they're not asking if you are able to pass the salt. They're politely requesting you to do so. The social setting and common manners tell us that it's a request, not a question about ability. Language use varies depending on social norms. Talking to a friend is different from speaking to a boss. The context guides us on what's appropriate, polite, or casual. Nonverbal cues like facial expressions and gestures add even more meaning. A frown can turn a compliment into an insult, and a nod can confirm understanding. Context also helps manage the flow of conversation. It tells us when to speak, when to listen, and how to change topics smoothly. Without it, conversations can become confusing or awkward. Understanding pragmatics and context helps us communicate clearly and avoid misunderstandings. It allows us to interpret what others mean, not just what they say. This is especially important in social interactions, where words often carry implied meanings. So when you hear someone say, "Are you busy?" in a social setting, it might be a question about their schedule or a polite way of asking for help. The context tells you which one. In short, context is the key to unlocking the true meaning behind words. It shapes how language is used and understood in real life. Without it, communication can break down or become confusing. That's why understanding the role of context in pragmatics is so important for effective and meaningful conversations.